Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Nitish Sharma. So today we're going to see the end-to-end program for CCIE security. Before moving further ahead, let me tell you about something about myself. My name is Nitish Sharma. I'm the corporate trainer as well as I do the retail trainings also. I give training on CCIE security, CCIE data center, as well as on routing and switching. Basically, I live in Bangalore. I enjoy bike riding, soccer road trips. My past experience is 11 years in total. In last 4 years, I'm working with the organization called as Netmetric. My specialization, I've actually been working on the products like Cisco, VMware, storage, security, as well as wireless. I work on the ASA as a product from Cisco, fire-powered next-generation firewalls, ISE, VPNs. I also worked on the UCS Director, UCS Central, UCS Platform Compute, AWS, DNA, SDN solutions by Cisco like ACI, Nexus, WSA and WLC, along with the storage. Now, what is my agenda? So this video is all about what we're gonna see in the next 2 months, right, about the CCIE security. I'll give you a brief introduction on each and every aspect. What are the things required for CCIE security? We're gonna talk about what is need to be required to clear the written for security lab, how we're gonna do the study, prepare it, and we'll close it in the end. Now, before moving further ahead, let me discuss you what is my table of content. So as you can see it over here, we are talking about end-to-end security. Now, what's so special about end-to-end security and how it makes different from other courses? Let's say, for example, we have basic courses of CCNA, we have the course for CCNP, and then we have the course for CCIE. There's a topic called as an OSPF over here, there is a topic called as an OSPF over here, and there's a topic OSPF also over here. OSPF is a topic in CCNA which usually goes for 2 to 3 days depending on what trainer is there and what are the number of hours he is taking. So once this is finished, let's say for example this entire curriculum is also 1.5 to 2 months. After this, again the CCNP will start, and here the OSPF topic comes again. Usually the people used to say that, can we have a brush up for that? So what is end-to-end module is? It's more like your product-based training. What I mean by that, we'll start with a topic, let's say for example an OSPF, we'll start it from the scratch knowing that you don't know anything on that particular topic, and we'll finish it till your CCIE level, no matter how many days it is going to take it over there. So we'll start a topic from the scratch and we'll still we'll complete it till the CCIE level, whatever is required for that topic to become an expert on. Now, what is my table of content? As you can see in the this, I have broadly classified this table of content into 5 modules. The module number 1 is all about the basic security. Now, security, when you talk about CCIE security, we are not directly going to jump on the firewalls or the VPNs or the ISE and different other topics. First week, we just going to talk about the basic of the security, like what is security, what are different parameters, what are different types of attacks. You're going to talk about the access, vulnerability, and the countermeasures over there. On day 2, we're going to move further at the cryptography, hashing algorithm, encryption, symmetric as asymmetric, PKIs, digital signature, and this will build your fundamentals for your VPNs. Now, the question comes here is, how much deep we are going to talk about this? Over here, because the topic is your basic security, basic of security, we're going to talk a little bit, right? And when we're going to start the VPNs, when you already know the topic over there, the terminologies are very much familiar with you, we're going to deep dive into this in that particular section. Day 3 is all about COPP, control plane policing, to secure your CPU. We're going to talk about the routing protocols, authentication. Now the question here is, do we need to talk about routing and switching? No, there is a prerequisites for this course. We are not going to talk any of the routing protocols. We are not going to talk about any of the switching, right? But how to authenticate, how we can authenticate those routing protocols like OSPF, EI, GRP, we're going to talk on that, how to configure that. We're going to talk about the NTP, syslog, DHCP, which is pretty much important in all the production with respect to the security parameters, and we need to secure NTP as well as DHCP. Moving further at, once the basic of security within like 3 or 4 days it will be finished, we're going to move to the next module, which is nothing but your firewall. Now, what is the firewall? Firewall is basically, we're gonna start from the scratch, from the product. What are the different old generation firewalls? We're gonna take a glimpse on that. Stateless packet filtering, stateful packet filtering, right? The proxy ones. We got to talk about the ASA products. Different products are there, right? 5500 series. What are the products that will be used for the SOHO, small office, home office, for the mid-level and big data centers? What are the different products? We're going to talk about the virtual ASA firewalls, because firewalls by Cisco comes in two ways. It comes as a virtual appliance also, as well as the physical appliance. We're going to talk a little bit on the UTM as well as the next generation firewall. What's the difference between them? And then we're going to talk, this is a slider error, this is ASDM. We're going to talk about the ASDM over there. Once this is done, we're going to talk about we'll start and open a particular firewall. When you got an idea a little bit of that, we're going to see the CLI. We're going to check the ASDM with the help of the GUI, graphical user interface with the ASDM. How to do a factory default setting of that particular firewall, and working on some of the confiles over there. We're going to talk about the physical interfaces, how to configure the VLANs, name if, security levels, how to assign an IP, all this we're going to talk. And once you know and get an idea, we'll deep dive and start talking about the routing over there, how to do the routing on top. Again, I'm repeating, we are not going to talk about the routing protocols, but how to implement and how to secure this routing protocol, we're going to talk on that. Once these all topics like SSH, Telnet, configuring the NTP, syslog, everything on the AC firewall is being done, we'll move to the next day, and we're going to talk about the two very, very important topic on the AC firewall, which you call as the NAT as well as ACL. Now, how important is these two topics? These are very important, and their behavior got changed from the version 8.x to the 9.x. Once we're gonna finish your NAT, all the types of NAT, object NAT, twice NAT, everything we're gonna talk about over here, ACLs, inside ACL, outside ACLs, object oriented ACLs, everything we're gonna talk it over here. So this gonna take a day on the NAT as well as ACL, maybe two also. Once this is done, we're gonna talk on the ASA modes as well as the virtualization on the ASA firewall, which nothing but call as a context over there. So we do have admin context, admin system context, user context, and how to deploy with respect to the production. We need to talk on that also. In the last but not the least, we're going to talk about the HA, high availability, with the ASA firewall. So we have active standby mode, we have active mode. We're going to talk on the clustering, how the failover operation happens, how the packet, life of the packet on the firewall when you are deployed HA over there. We're going to talk some of the industry standards. We're going to talk how usually on the production the ASA going to be deployed. We're going to see certain designs. Mock labs are already prepared with that. So we're going to talk on those particular things. Once the ASA firewall is being finished, we have done all the labs on those particular topics that we have seen at the upstream. We're going to move to the next module, the important one, VPN. Now in the VPN, generally people are scared of the VPN, that it's quite difficult. So many different types of VPNs are there. Trust me guys, VPN is very simple if you know the terminologies that we have already discussed on, right? Like your crypto analysis, encryption, if you know that, 3DES and all, hashing algorithm, MD5 SHA, if you have an idea on that, these VPNs terminology, VPN will be easy for you. You just need to have an understanding of a particular flow. Why we require a VPN? To secure it over an unsecured network. So that's why we're going to talk on the fundamentals of VPN. I'm going to spend 2 days just to make sure that you got the fundamentals of the VPN. So we're going to talk about the VPN types, IPsec features, CIA, which is your confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We're going to talk on the IPsec protocols like IKE, ESP, AH, authentication header, IKE modes, IKE phases, NAT traversal, security association and components, and how to configure iOS with the CA. Now, is it important? Yes, it is important with respect to the VPN. Is it important to configure the CA on the Windows 2012? Yes, it is important. You should know how to configure the CA on. Now, why I'm taking only 2012? Because it's more or less you'll easily find 2012 over there. In the production, it is running 2016 with the licensed version. Yes, you can do it on that also, but it's more or less the same thing. Saying this, once you got an idea what is the VPN, what are different segments and the security associations playing over there, we got to move towards different types of the VPNs that we do have. We're going to talk on the site-to-site VPN, site-to-site with GRE, GRE over IPsec, site-to-site VPN labs. Once done, we're going to go towards the RA VPN. We have SSL clientless as well as SSL client, which is nothing but your AnyConnect. We're going to talk on those also. We're going to talk about the labs, how to perform the labs for all this. We're going to talk about SSL much more in detail. We're going to talk on the SSL much more in detail because it's a protocol which you will be seen in most of the terminologies and most of the security parameters, which is very important with respect to the interviews also. So SSL VPN, before starting with the SSL VPN, we're going to talk about SSL. We're going to see the packet handshake between server and client, all those things. And then we're going to move towards, and we'll call this SSL for your VPNs. So SSL VPN modes, clientless and the thick client I've already said. Moving further, we're going to talk about the different types of VPN, more or less, which is very important. One of the common one, which is DMVPN. We're going to talk about the terminologies, overview, NHRP, next house resolution protocol, MGRE, how the DMVPN work, its phases and advantages and limitations. Once done, we're going to do the lab on the very same thing. Next is GetVPN, all the terminologies, GDI as a protocol, GetVPN terminologies, what is key server, KEK, key encryption key, traffic encryption key, reking process over there, group members, group protocol, and so on and so forth. Similarly, in the last, we're going to talk about the FlexVPN. Now, FlexVPN is more or less with the IKE v2, so you can see that in my this PDF. You haven't seen the IKE v2 over there. Why? Because IKE v2 mostly gonna take over there. So previous all the VPNs will be work on IKE v1 as well as IKE v2, but FlexVPN is purely on the IKE v2. So we're gonna talk about IKE v2 over here in the FlexVPN much more. That's why I've given 2 days over there. Once it is done, we're gonna move further and we're gonna talk about the ISE, which is the most important topic with respect to CCIE as well as with respect to the production. So you may or may not have the Cisco products, different products like your next generation firewall or their SDN solutions or DNA and so on and so forth. But it is a high possibility that the Cisco ISE will be there in your production, which is running around. It's the best according to the Gartner report. It is the best product as of now by the Cisco for the AAA. So that's why we're going to spend much more time over there on the ISE. So we're going to start with the what is an ISE. We're going to start what are the identity. What do you mean by a word called as an identity? ISE stands for Identity Service Engine. What are the services that is being provided by the engine of the ISE? We're going to talk on that. So if you don't have any idea on the ISE, you don't have to worry about it because I'm going to take a week or week and a half only on the ISE just to make sure that you got a better idea. You got a better production view, how to deploy an ISE and so on and so forth. So once you got an idea, introduction has been given to an architecture and the deployment process of the ISE. We're going to move further into the design perspective, like what are the personas? There are basically 4 personas of the ISE. We have PAN, which is administrator one. We have PSN, which is service one, monitoring and troubleshooting, and the last with the license. We got a fixed rate. Once this is done, we're going to talk about the licensing. What are the different ways to get a null license, and what are different types of licenses are there, and which license gives you the what kind of a service? We're going to talk on that. Where we're going to deploy this as an infrastructure component, whether you want to deploy ISE as a VM or you want to deploy this ISE as a physical component, we're going to talk on this particular platform. On day 24, we're going to talk about the fundamentals of AAA. Why? Because ISE, to understand, you should have a fundamental knowledge of your AAA, like majorly protocols like your Radius, TechAxplorer, AV pair, change of authorization, EAP protocol, PEEP, EFAST, EAP, MD5, all these protocols we're going to talk about over here. Building the ISE and network policy. When you talk about ISE, it's all about 2 things: ISE policies and ISE authentication authorization policies and your profile. So we're going to merge the policies, all the types of policies we're going to talk about, like ISE authorization rules, which will be defined in the network access policies. We're going to talk about the device security policy, which comes with your profiling, thread-centric NAC, using the device policy in the authorization rule. We're going to talk about the auditing and the accounting of policies on the ISE. We're going to talk about the audit log collections, how to do that, ISE user accounting. We're going to talk about the auditing as well as accounting of the ISE also. Then next, we're going to move further and talk about the Bootstrap of the NAT devices. What are the NAT devices? There are 3 terminologies which you need to get familiar with the ISE. One is supplicant, authenticator, which is nothing but your NAT, and the AAA server. So what are the configuration needs to be done on your switches, catalyst switches? It can be a catalyst switch, it can be a WLC controller, it could be a firewall also. So whatever the NAT device you are taken, what needs to be done on that particular device, we have to do the configuration for the same. And we're going to do that Bootstrap for that. Once we have done, we're gonna in the last see much more in detailed fashion how to apply those authentication and authorization policy into the profiles that you're gonna be associated with over there. Now, last but not the least, we're gonna troubleshoot the ISE, which is very important with respect to the troubleshooting part of the CCI lab also. Last is your module called as a WSA, WLC, access point, and the CCM. In this, we're gonna talk about a WSA as well as email security and web security. We're gonna see what WSA works at and how ESA works at, how to implement it, how to implement them as a VM, how the protocol like WCCP works over there, how the proxies happen over there, how you're gonna protect your layer 7 application over there. Everything we're gonna work over here, from deployment to the troubleshooting to the configuration, all the policies over there, access policies with the WSS and ESS. Then we do have certain miscellaneous topics over there, like register to the Cisco IP phone via the CUCM. Now the question comes here is, Nitij, how much detail we are going to talk about this IP phone and CUCM? The answer is just a basic level. You should know a basic level of how to integrate an IP phone with the CUCM and how to protect that. We are not deep diving into the CUCM like call parking and all this different stuff over there. Why? Because this is a track with respect to the security, not a CCI collaboration. In a very same way, if I talk about how much detail we're going to talk about the WLC wireless controller with respect to the API, only the registration part, how a WLC is going to detect and get registered with an access point, or vice versa, how an access point going to be get registered with the WLC controller. And then if any clientless, wireless clientless PC is coming over there, how to protect that particular PC or laptop, or bring your own device over there. So just a basic of these two, right? Not in detail, but how to secure it, that we're gonna talk in much more in detail on that. Once this miscellaneous topics are done, we're gonna talk about the module 6, which is your CCI lab preparation over there. You have 20 to 8 hour session, depending on how much, what package you have taken from the Netmetric, depending on the number of sessions will be given to you. You can do the simultaneously the multiple mock labs that we have designed. There are certain technology labs out there. We're gonna make you prepare for your troubleshooting, and then we're gonna create your self-analysis sheet. What is a self-analysis sheet? We're gonna talk much more in detail in the future lectures. So once your table of content is done, if I'll move further ahead and gonna talk about this, what I generally say that if I missed in that particular thing is your next generation firewall. So Nitij, what we're gonna talk about the next generation firewall. So we're gonna start a glimpse from 5.x and then 6.x, which is there with respect to the CCI lab. Once these two models has been done, we're gonna move further ahead, right? And we're gonna talk about the manager, which is called as FMC. Different terminologies, I'll say and write it over here. Different terminologies we're gonna talk it about here, right? We have the sensors are there with respect to the next generation firewall. What are the different sensors like NGIPS? We have FTD, and we have ASA with X series, firepower services over there. So we're gonna talk about all the sensors. We're gonna talk about the manager much more in detail, which is nothing but giving us the GUI, a centralized management platform from where you can configure different devices, more or less nothing but we call them as a sensor. Once being registered and configured from this managing tool, we are going to push the policies on these particular sensors. So we're gonna talk about all this. Once this registration process has been done, we're going to move further ahead, and when we talk about the FMC GUI and next generation firewall, it's all about the policies. So we're going to see different policies like access policies. Yes, we're going to talk on that, which is very important. We're going to talk about SSL policies. We're going to talk about the intrusion prevention policies, preventions policies. We're going to talk about after that your security intelligence, how to protect your layer 7 over there, right? Whatever the different kind of policies are there, creation of the objects, rules, how to prepare the rules over there, different kinds of rules, how to deploy them. And in the last, life of a packet. When I say life of a packet, what I mean by that? Life of packet means whenever, so we're going to talk about life of a packet for your ASA firewall as well as your next generation firewalls also. What I mean by that, if a firewall is present, like your ASA firewall is there, if an ingress interface and there is an egress interface, If a packet gets hit to this firewall, what the ASA firewall engine is going to do with that particular packet? So that comes basically in the life of packet. Like first it is going to hit the NAT, then after NAT, after the translation, we are going to hit with the ACLs, then blah blah rules, then routing, and then in a very same way, what happens if a next generation firewall is there? If any packet comes inside that firewall, next generation firewall, what are the policies it is going to hit? What are the SNOT rules that is going to be hit over there? We're going to talk on all this. So this generally going to take 1 week. So in this way, the total curriculum goes for 2 weeks, plus minus I'll take 5 days. Can be completed early also if the number of questions are less, or can be taken 5 days more than that. So this is all about your theory. I'll try to nurture you on all the aspects of the different product of the security. I'll try to tell you what are the blocks that we need to read it over here, and so on and so forth. Saying this, you have taken a Cisco certification course, and the course that we are opted over here is CCIE security. I've already told you one thing, that we are not going to go in a fashion of like CCNA security and then CCNP security and the CCIE. We have actually taken what the end-to-end module. So I've already told you end-to-end module is more or like your product-based training. So first week is basic security. I've already told you, right? And then you're gonna talk about the firewalls. Then we're gonna talk about the VPNs. Then we're gonna talk about what the ISE, and the last, the basic modules over there, the miscellaneous topics that I've already told. How will you get your CCIE certification over there? There are 2 hurdles over there. First hurdle is I generally call as a written examination, right? You can give and write your written examination any of the PSN location. It will be present in your city. You just need to Google it out, right? Basically, the exam is for your 2 hours. Depending on the day, you can get your 90 questions, or maybe 110, or maybe 100 questions, depending. So there is a variation on top of this. No, documentation is not an open book examination, right? And you cannot go back once you have submitted your answers. Your scorecard will be given to you immediately, and within 18 months, if you get passed, you'll move towards for the practical exams, which is nothing but your lab. There are certain selected Cisco locations which is present worldwide. There's a particular slide I can tell you over there what are the different locations are present. It is basically an 8 hours lab in which the 3 sections are there: configuration, troubleshooting, as well as diagnostic. It is an open book examination. It's a Cisco documents are there. You can open it, right? So it's not like you have a basic of a book. You can get into the lab and you can open it. No, it's not like that. It is a way. There is a way to open that particular document. And score depends. Sometimes comes in 4 hours. Sometimes it usually takes 48 hours also. Once you crack both the hurdles, both the exams, written as well as practical exam, you can expect your 5-digit magical number, which is nothing but your CCIE. And the very same thing is with respect to the CCD also. That's why I've included in this particular slide. Now giving an overview on the written examination. So I've already told it's available at any of the Pearson VUE testing facility. The cost may vary due to the GST as well as VAT. If you are from India, if you are abroad, depending on your rates, it can move further, right? It's a 2 hours exam with multiple choice question. We generally call MCQs. No outside references there. Pass or fail result is immediately. Candidate who passed the CCIE written must go for the lab within 180 days. You can't skip the question, functionality on top of that. The goal of the security written exam is to test concept and the theoretical knowledge of your security CCA blueprint. The awareness of the industry standard best practice, start reading the standard bodies, read the RFC and the blogs over there. You can directly go to the www.cisco.com for the training events and the training certification examples over there, from where you can easily check out what are the things and the materials that we need to read. Now talking about CCIE Security Lab. I said that the lab is basically divided into 3 major portions. One is called, so as soon as you're gonna hit to the lab, you are going to hit what? The troubleshooting. Now troubleshooting is basically all about your virtual devices. I can see that. None of the device over there in the troubleshooting is a physical device. All the devices are your virtual devices over there. When I say about the virtual devices, what I mean by that, you get the console, none of the devices, the physical one, and this troubleshooting is for you 2 hours. If you by any XYZ reason couldn't make that in 2 hours, you can borrow your time from the configuration. See, the total is 2 hours for the troubleshooting, 1 hour is the diagnostic, and 5 hours for your configuration. So total is equals to 8 hours. But if you're not able to finish your troubleshooting in 2 hours, you can borrow your maximum 30 minutes from your configuration. You can't do anything with the diagnostic. So you can borrow a certain like max to max 30 minutes. So the remaining time now here left is 4 hours 30 minutes, and here we got with what 2 hours 30 minutes. If you do the total, still the answer is 8 hours. On the vice versa, if I finished below like before 2 hours, what are you gonna do that? If you finish in 1.5 hours, let's say for example, then that 30 minutes will be added over here, so it becomes 5 hours 30 minutes over there. So more or less it's still 8 hours over there. So you need to prepare yourself in such a way. First, for the troubleshooting, the basic tips that we generally give is do as much as configuration you can, read all the documents, read all the troubleshooting guides, which is available for all the products that we do have in this particular curriculum. We have CCI lab locations over there. You can see that Brussels, Dubai, Bangalore, Hong Kong, Beijing, Tokyo, Sydney, San Jose, and RTP. Depending on where you are staying, geolocation, you can choose your own centers, and the pre-booking is very highly going on right now with respect to the CCI security. So whatever the location you choose it wisely. Now, what are the tips that I can give before starting? Study and preparation tips. Let's understand that. Be ready for this. I've seen most of the time in my career that the people start for CCI and they're very happy, but down the line, moving towards the CCI level, it's gonna go like this. And generally, I say one more thing over there. In my 4 years of an experience, I've seen that whenever the students or the candidates who are appearing for the CCI, they're very excited in first week. And their study graph goes like this with respect to the hours. Like in a day, they are reading for 8 hours or 10 hours, continuously, and Saturdays, Sundays, they keep on reading. And then gradually, this graph goes like this also. I've seen that, most of the candidates. What I generally suggest to everyone is, I don't want you to study for like 8 hours in a day. Make a constant line, less number of hours, but make it constant. I generally say that go for a 1 hour maximum in your daily basis. Whatever we are going to read, whatever the videos you'll get it, whatever the online lectures that you're gonna take it over here, 1 hour is more than enough for that. You don't have to give more than 1 hour because you must be working over there. You have your own family, you have everything with you. Don't overburden in the starting. Gradually increase the pace. Don't directly go from here to on the peak level. Take your time. Saturdays, Sundays, you can read like 3 to 4 hours, not more than that. Start exploring the things. Start reading the new things. So be ready for this. Get support from the family, which is very important aspect also. Most of you will be working professional, right? For next 2 to 3 months or 4 months, I'll say that please don't attend any of the marriages, not the meetings, the marriages. Try to skip your what do you call that? Your tours and the travels, so that you can save your time. And most important, get support your family, because it's not an easy go, right? I've been into this business for quite a long time. I itself got quite of CCI numbers. You need your family support. Trust me. Don't trust the rumors. The only one single point of contact should be Nitij Sharma, me, or our team over there in the Netmetric, because there are so many other candidates who spread the rumors. So don't trust on the rumors until unless it is coming from our end. Don't make it official over there. GPS is your success. Schedule the lab exam. Goals, create the goals, plan it, and you'll achieve a success. Now, generally, we have seen over here when a candidate or a person is preparing for the CCI, they comes with the long-term plans. I'll suggest you, instead of going for the long-term plans, go for a short-term. Make your short-term plans first. Like for a week, what we are going to see. Let's say, for example, for first week, I'm going to talk about layer 7. Right, let me read about the layer 7, like the protocols called as an HTTPS or HTTP, DNS, DHCP. Different protocols are there. Let me become habitual and familiar with the layer 7 protocols. Why I'm saying about the layer 7 protocol, there's quite a reason for that. Nowadays, all the attackers, they are not coming from layer 3 or layer 4. It is very secure. Most of the hackers which are coming in your production and doing attacks over there, or man-in-middle attacks, most of the thing is usually going to happen with respect to your layer 7. So do make sure that whenever you're preparing for the interviews, layer 7 is very important aspect with respect to the security as well as with respect to your production also, because so many protocols, we generally overrule them, right? We most of the time keep on focusing your TCP IP or like routing protocols, which is running at layer 3, but we generally we don't get that interest on the layer 7. But I'll say that now please come to the layer 7 protocol, which is very important with respect to the interviews nowadays. Start saving your time. It's up to you guys how you save your time. Uh, those who are traveling for daily basis, you can save your time. You can use your smartphones, right? You can download your PDFs over there whenever you got the time. You are there in the cafeterias, try to read it. Relax your brain also. I'm not saying that continuously keep on reading, but as much as you can save your time, it will be better for you because you have opted for a certification which is the highest level in the IT certification. Find a best practice lab. The labs are there with us. You can prepare with the labs over here. No worries into that. But what I'm generally trying to say that I've seen that most of the time, whenever the student or the aspirants have opted for the CCIE, any of the CCIE, they try to take the laptops, a huge one, like 16 GB RAM, 2 TB hard disk, and blah blah blah, and they invest for around about some few dollars and rupees over there. Instead of that, I usually suggest that, and people are doing that, in a very low cost, you can hire or rent a server, right? And on top of that particular server, you can deploy all the virtual machines. Now, to be very honest, the lab for the CCI, this time with version 5, your 80% lab can be done on the VMs itself as a VM, and you can deploy everything on your servers. So instead of buying a brand new laptop only with the 16 GB, you can go till 128 GB of RAM server. You can go with 2 TB of hard disk. You can go with a 1 or 2 NIC adapter over there, as well as you can go with the like CPU, whatever the Xeon processor is a good one. This is what I'm having. So you can rent it also over there, no worries, right? Because it is going to save you a lot of money because you're going to do the practice for a month or 2 or 3. So in the last, when you are preparing for CCIE also, you want to do certain R&D, you want to make your own designs, your own topology, most welcome, go ahead, buy, instead of buying, do the rental, because over here we have already had our own mock labs, different mock labs are there. So here you can't do your R&Ds. For your overall R&Ds, I generally say that deploy or buy, or sorry, rent a particular server over there. Understanding is the key. What I mean by that, don't try to mug any of the thing over here in security, because security, when you talk about as a CCIE security or any of the security certification, people have hope from you, or people generally talk about, okay boss, this is the security specialist. So if you have mugged in your life, it is not going to give you a value for the same. Please try to understand each and every concept. Try to learn the packet flow of the topics. Try to learn the things. Don't try to mug the things. And understanding is the very important key. Once you are there in the lab, what needs to be done? It's an 8-hour lab. Don't stress yourself, because it's your biggest enemy. See, in my career, I've attempted so many times for the CCIE. I'll be very honest. If tomorrow also, if I'll go for my CCIE lab, if a normal port channel is not coming up, still my hands will start shivering. It's not about the money. Yes, it's due for most of us, but it's the matter of how many months you have invested in this particular track. Everything comes around in your front of your head, and you start getting panicking. You get into a stress mode. So it's okay if something is not hitting in the lab in one shot. It's okay. Give 5 minutes troubleshooting. If still it doesn't work over there, I generally give a recommendation to everyone. Please move further ahead. Do rest of the questions, whatever you will get it over there. Come back to the very same question which you have left it over there with a fresh mind. You might possible you can get a solution for the very same thing. Be confident in your knowledge. Whatever you have learned it, try to do. Try to deploy that. Try to implement whatever you have learned in next 3 or 4 months in your with respect to your preparation. Right? Don't do R&D there. That is my point over here. You are not there to make your friends. Focus what you got. So you'll get 2 monitors over there. One monitor to see your whatever the questions will be there and whatever the topology will be there, and another one you will get it to do the configuration. Why I'm telling this, I have already opted for this. Once it is being done, you are not there to help others. Don't try to help others over there. You are not there to make a friends over there, guys. Just be concentrate on your. The lab is huge, right? So CCI lab is not an easy one. It's not a piece of cake. You have to invest your time over there. 8 hours sitting on the same bench, right? Concentration is very. You don't have to see here and then and help your friends out there. Use your lunch wisely, right? There will be around about 15 to 20 minutes of break depending on which center you have taken over there. And when you are using your lunch, try to calm yourself at that particular moment of a time. Don't overburden at the time of eating. That's what my what do you call that, suggestion will be there for you guys. After that, understand the question. Please understand the question. Don't be in a hurry. Questions are very important for us because you need to give an answer for that question only, right? So don't be in a hurry. Understand what Cisco is trying to ask you with respect to the question. Don't be in a hurry. Slow is better than fast. Now, why I meant with this? Most of the time in my career, I've seen that the people are in hurry to finish the lab, right? Don't do that. Hardly it matters, right? Because if you're trying to finish a lab in 7 hours, and let's say, for example, Bob is there who is completing his lab in 7 hours, and over here, Nitij is taking the exact 8 hours time over there. Both are going to get our 5-digit CCI number. But the person who is trying to do it very, very fast over there, right? There's a might chance as a human errors can occur over there. You take your precise time, you check each and every question. So once the question and the ticket you have solved it, try to go and check with each and every show commands, because the show commands are the only things by which you can save your lab, to be very honest. Take your time. Don't be in that hurry. Don't be that too slow also, but you take your time, choose your time wisely over there, and then move further. So this is the introduction. This is how to prepare your labs and each and everything. Once this introduction is finished, we're going to start with the CCI security content. Now, what are the content that we have already discussed? So this has been 5 domains. There are different things. This is from the Cisco's blueprint. You can see it there. This is all about your ASA firewalls. The first thing, perimeter security and intrusion prevention. This consists of your next generation firewalls also. Advanced threat production and content security. This is all about your email security, web security, as well as your advanced malware protections, and so on and so forth. This is all about the VPN. The third section, your secure connectivity and the segmentation. Fourth one is all about the ISE one. Fifth one is all about like your NTPs, your DHCPs, your DNS, your HTTPS, your admin related things over there, your RBACs, your WLCCs, as well as your syslog servers, your NetFlow, NetConf, everything will be done at over here in domain number 5. These are the virtual machine. This is what I told early. We have certain devices and the version I've written it over there. So when you have taken a rental for your R&D, so this rental of the servers, which I'm trying to say is, it's not mandatory. We have the full-fledged 4 or 5 racks with us. You can work on that. Mock labs are there. Everything is designed for every aspect. We have 2 or 3 different mock labs that we have already designed. Still, if you want to do R&D, there are certain guys out there who want to make their production look similar kind of a thing. The new type of a topology, they want to merge different products altogether, then at that particular moment, this is an option for you. A sweet, simple one. So we do have ISE with 2.1 version over here. You can see about that, right? We do have your ACS also there, WSA. These are the current versions and the products, and these all are what? The virtual machines. Clearly see it over here. These all are the virtual machines which is present over there. So WLC, email security, web security, ISE, your FMC, your NGI, PSFTD, your IOS, virtual layer 2, layer 3, CSR routers, 1000V, you have ASAV over there. You have Windows PC test, this is also a VM, Active Directory of Windows Server 2008, Cisco APIC enterprise model, they have included it also over here. Unified CUCM for the registration of the iPhone, FireAmp, and the AnyConnect. There are certain devices which is with respect to your hardware. You have 3850 with the version 16.2. You have the ASA firewall with 15.x. Now what happens is this particular model is already end of life as well as end of sale. So the replacement, if you're trying to build your own racks or something like this, you can eventually go with 5515X. It's a upper graded one which is easily available in the market. No difference. Eventually this is the better than 12x over there. So you can go and opt this also if you're trying to have it. Your wireless controller, I don't know, this is your access point, and you have 7965, what do you call that, IP phone with the version 9.2. So this is all about your CCI security journey, right? What are the topics, table of contents, how we're going to prepare, what are the lab preparation tips I've given, what are the devices we do have. So in the next video, we're going to start our journey with respect to the CCI security. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video again. Thank you.